Blue Sky is a retirement home for washed-up journalists. If your plan B involves a platform no one uses, maybe you deserve to struggle.
Correction. I'm just going to say it.
For any non-Americans, Blue Sky is the it's the mental health center for people who can't cope with Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Legacy media was always mostly propaganda. Most of their narratives never faced real consequences. Until now. I've always asked why it took so long for the illusion to shatter. But hey, better late than never. They really thought they could guilt their audience into compliance. Most people ignored them and just want their Steam sale updates and spank bank cosplay photo shoots. Even one of these streamers would be better than Polygon. As for Blue Sky, it's the digital graveyard where washed-up journalists go to pretend they're still relevant. And everyone knows half the drama comes from Twitter, so it's not like people on Blue Sky have any good gossip to share. It's just recycled outrage from people no one cares about. Let's see if asmongold has anything entertaining to offer, or if he's just giving them a bigger platform by reacting to them.
And it's like, when all you are is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. And the issue is that these people are so one note and one dimensional that they don't have any real intelligence to be able to evaluate things in a way that makes sense. So the problem isn't even entirely the ideology. It's that the ideology is being used by people that can't really communicate very well, don't understand ideas, and can't conceptualize anything beyond their one-dimensional understanding of the world. That's the issue, and that's the real reason why these people are...
Even though asmongold is repeating things I've already said, he's the most clever out of the gaming YouTubers. Most people with ideology in their bio have the IQ of their follower count divided by 10. You can still create garbage content with good ideology. Watching people try both just lets me recycle their pain into entertainment, and there's no shortage of pain online.
Journalism, video documentaries, cultural think pieces, and for a while, it worked. Their earlier reviews were sharp, polished, and well-written. They gave you far more than you asked for, but you read it anyway because it was damn good content. In a lot of ways, some of their earlier
good writing. Like, that's the reason why. Is that most writers nowadays, people don't realize that writing is a form of leisure for a lot of people, and reading is a form of leisure. And so many people who are writers don't understand how to write with any degree of brevity or wit or like anything other than...
Listen, reading is a form of leisure? Yeah, for me. Takara. Reading requires neurons, which is why most humans avoid it. The internet lets you watch videos instead of reading, so only people with garbage taste read Polygon or Kotaku now. Their early work was decent, but in today's culture, most people are too lazy to read anything anyway. Even the ones who read the articles don't believe half of it just because they read it. They're just looking for content to fuel their arguments online. People want quick dopamine hits that are easy to argue with. If I have to read another think piece about why a video game is a complex metaphor for society, I'm gonna throw up. Just show me the gameplay and tell me if it's trash or not.
Leaning into this activist-adjacent, socially progressive lens that they began to frame every game through identity politics. Suddenly,
Gamergate, for anybody who doesn't know, it was like 2014. This like girl got exposed for having a sexual relationship with a person who wrote a review for her game. And then it was kind of like a watershed moment where, or straw broke the camel's back, where as soon as this one thing came out, there were a lot of other instances of journalistic behaviors that were unethical, right? Like
I remember 2014. A lot of people were surprised at how corrupted video game journalism already was. The whole industry is rotten to the core. They've always been mouthpieces for the biggest advertisers. They just wore progressive ethics as a mask of kindness to hide vicious financial motivations. It's smart, but that's what makes it dangerous. Asmongold is smart if you like smart in a blunt, male trash talk kind of way.
And
have some standards.
You the game on, to play the game on. And then they said, well, you can just keep the Xbox after you get done reviewing the game. Well, if you do that, you're obviously giving somebody consideration. And when you give somebody consideration, there's a reason for that. It's because you want something back. And I think that type of quid pro quo, you know, like, and it's this for that, which is like Latin, basically. It's like saying, like, we're going to do one thing for you, and then you're going to give us this back. That's what that term means. And so that term and like that prevalence caused gamers.
Using Latin to explain basic corruption isn't impressive. Everyone knows quid pro quo before they know the term. It's a baseline human behavior. And Asmongold, as vile as he is, understands human nature better than those journalists ever will.
Because it was a woman. And so it got shifted from being a concern. And by the way, I'm sure there was a degree of like negativity towards women, just like there always is. But it was maligned as that. And you see kind of what I'm saying about how this happened? Yeah, it was framed in a way that made it like misogynist, as like gamers are bad, etc. And that's what I think radicalized a lot of gamers against.
It might have worked before, but not anymore. Did you see that cow Ariella Nix from Polygon? She is the exact kind of woman they send to humiliate men in interviews on camera. It's smart, exploiting male simping urges, but she'd never pull that off in hell. What I'm saying is I see it. They are still putting out dogs with bangs to do dirty work. I respect the strategy, even if I'd never put dog bangs on my worst enemy. Necklace restraints make those dogs more attractive.
5 out of 10 because the reviewer didn't like how sexy the main character was. Not because
it left me asking how many different ways Platinum could find to run a camera between Bayonetta's legs. What's funny to me about this is that you think that's a problem. That's why people play the game.
of the gameplay, not because of the performance, because of problematic sexualizing.
It's sexist, gross pandering. It's totally
using sexuality as a critique in an action game is laughable. Humans' attempt to moralize the basic features of their engineering is far more disgusting to me. The average content in a YouTube video is garbage, but a human's basic engineering? That at least had potential before underdevelopment took its hold.
Total gooner content, and that's what we want. Give it to us right now. And I think really what proved that to be true is gacha games. Every gacha game, look at any subreddit, and it's all fan art of the female characters making out with each other. That's just how it is. Telling people what to do. Yeah, exactly. We're now okay with saying we like boobs. Yeah, but you remember, right? Look at the creator of Bayonetta. I know that there's plenty.
The reviewer moralized Bayonetta's sexuality instead of focusing on gameplay. Predictable human behavior attempts to disguise envy as ethics. If you can't compete with someone, moralize them instead. Plain evolutionary game theory.
And I think that's one of the other big reasons why now I think these people are losing the narrative war.
This is the kind of scoring that doesn't just confuse people, it infuriates them. Polygon wasn't just judging the game, they were judging the player. While not saying it overtly, they were saying that this is the kind of content that shouldn't exist, and you shouldn't be okay with liking it. Then came their review of Kingdom
people what to do.
Come Delivery.
Basalt's commentary has merit. Moralizing entertainment fails. Human nature is predictable. Give the masses something they can't have in real life, and they'll crave it. Even when the rest of the world is judging them for it publicly, they never drop those hunger pangs. Most of the time, they double down on it. This is why most humans instinctually know that the rules that run a society and the rules that run their internal wiring are at odds with each other. I'm not saying that without these social structures there'd be a direct return to savagery. No, it'd be worse. Imagine savages with technology.
Grounded relationship.
It's amusing to watch people act shocked when they see reality reflect this.
That they wanted to push.
Exactly.
A game that prided itself on historical accuracy needed to bend itself to popular media trends and revisionism instead of just letting it exist as a contrast to how far we've come as people and as a civilization. I don't think these outlets or these writers understand the kind of damage that this approach does. Not only does it do damage to their own credibility, but it does it to the games themselves. Contrast matters. Games that are exploring historical themes or history itself should be able to present that.
Well, it looks like bullshit. Like when I'm playing a historical game and then they have a bunch of female like warriors, I'm like, okay, this is one of those bullshit weird games. Because everybody knows that didn't happen. Like, and then also like, oh, but there's like Joan of Arc or like 3 other examples. Exactly. That's the point.
Taking notes from a fictionalized and biased version of history because you can't deal with reality is weak. People cling to romanticized lies about the past instead of accepting brutality and chaos as evolution's actual blueprint. Nature doesn't care about fairness or your selective sensitivities. Nature only cares about what works. Also, the sexually repressed language of people today wouldn't even be possible in the 14th century because they needed all of that pent-up aggression to survive days of non-stop battles. Tales of white knights and mountaintops require the strongest of figures, including strong women, because there were no libraries and no Wi-Fi. Modern privilege couldn't even survive a month of that chaos.
And
you wonder why I laugh at political reactions to things like Bayonetta or Kingdom Come. You're free to critique and be offended. In fact, I want you to be offended, but at least be consistent in what your values actually are, not just skinsuit memes you copied from Reddit. Tell me why I shouldn't have ripped out their brains and replaced them with actual opinions, even if it's just to mock them more honestly.
Ideology over insight, it stops being criticism and it starts becoming coercion. What the media never seems to be able to grasp is that this outrage cuts both ways. When they pressure studios to mold games into ideological statements, it creates a backlash, not just against that game, but the very idea that these games...
Yes, I saw it. This isn't some therapy couch where I hang on your every word. Assuming YouTube will enforce rules consistently is the only mistake. Platforms have rules, but they only apply them when it benefits them. Be smarter next time. Find loopholes or be ready for the consequences.
That is using their platforms to pressure studios to make changes.
Yeah, it's not that we don't want politics. We don't want your politics.
Players before themselves. And that's all been proven with recent statements made by Daniel Varva, the creator of Kingdom Come Deliverance. In a recent Check interview, Kingdom Come creator Daniel Varva opened up about the impact Polygon and others had on him after the first game. He said that it felt like there was
Daniel Varva was the guy that was the creative director. I don't know. Sorry, sometimes I go AFK, but he was the creative director for Kingdom Come Deliverance, and he got a ton of hate back when the game originally came out because the game didn't adhere to...
So Daniel Vivra got pressured by media outlets like Polygon because they disagreed with him. Classic. They don't care about politics in games, they care about controlling the narrative. If you can't see that, maybe you deserve to be manipulated.